Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, this is Beat Street Sports Talk Radio. I am your host, Lee, a.k.a. the Hoops Guru, along with my partner, MKA, Mr. Know-It-All, my man Ed. You hear the music, we get 7 days out till Christmas, so if you got anything to get for your loved ones, you better get out there, but you know, that's all part of the fun. You know, spending time with your family, you know, going out there grabbing them, getting the little ones, the scene and for. So it's all part of the fun. So enjoy it. Be safe out there. What's going on, Ed?
Ain't nothing, brother. Just go ahead and chilling.
Hey, man, that's my song right here, man. It's like one of my favorite Christmas songs. Stevie Wonder, Someday at Christmas, man. You know. So what's up, man? What's up? How's everything? It's been a few days since the last broadcast, man. You know, a lot of things have been going on. We got a lot of things to touch up on.
Yeah, you know, I have a belated birthday to you, so that way all the fans out there know that's the reason why we didn't have a show yesterday, because the world stopped because you had a birthday, but now we can get back to normal.
There you go, man. Well, I appreciate the love, man, you know, with the backhand slap. It's always good when you can make it another rotation around the sun, man. You know, I'm still here, so might as well make the most out of it.
Hey.
Week 15, man, that was a wild week in the NFL, brother.
Yeah.
This was probably your worst week. I think I tied for my worst week. But you went 9-7. I went 8-8. So I mean,
so what does that mean?
As far as the grand total?
Yeah.
Why it's gotta be about the bottom line, man? Why we just can't focus on the week that is?
Nah, I'm bottom line type dude, man.
All right, man. Let's see. Give me a second, man. But while I'm telling
you down one game, man. Okay, you down one game. All right, you ain't gotta tell you nothing. We was tired last week. You down one game.
So why you need to know? Let's
because you need to say it, because when you up, you know, you so quick to go ahead and say it and ask me how I feel. So then when you down, now you act like you don't know stuff. It's not a Krameristic trait.
It's not
important.
Now it's not
important. You're okay. Just like a Kramer. Boy, I tell you, that's not important. Unbelievable.
It's like that, right? But what was the most shocking loss last week, you think, for any particular team?
Honestly, for me, I'm going to say the Minnesota-Philly game, because Minnesota hadn't done that all year, and all of a sudden they put a 48 on the Eagles. I know the Eagles' defense is, I mean, they're a little bit better, which is not saying much, than the Cowboys, because no one's as bad as them. But to me, that was the most surprising loss. I know for other people, they'll say, you know, the Patriots, Miami, but the guy that made, you know, a hell of a play, you know, reading Brady and Taylor. But to me, that was the most surprising one for me, just because the fact that Minnesota actually looked like a team.
I was surprised with Philly, too, because they got dealt with, you know, out the gate. And, you know, as consistent as they've been those weeks past, and knowing that they need to stay a game ahead of Dallas in order to get the playoff, you thought they would be better prepared, especially, you know, they played in the snow the week before. You know, you thought, all right, now, shoot, we in a nice climate in a little dome. We can make some things happen. And they looked like they were, and Adrian Peterson didn't even play, right?
Nah, he didn't play, nor did the backup.
Wow, I mean, so in that regard, man, Philly should really, you know, if their season is lost, it's all contingent on that poor performance up there in Minnesota.
They're fine because you're your pick for the NFC East. You know, he keeps on doing what he does, so they're fine.
Well, let's get into it, man. Like, and my pick for the NFC East was the Dallas Cowboys. Yo, dog, put it this way. I was so confident Dallas won that game, I started looking at other stuff because, you know, I don't like the Cowboys at all. So, you know, I got a little hateration in my blood. So I turned. And when I saw that Green Bay won, I was telling my wife, how's this? No, that's impossible. Like, did you watch
Nothing is ever impossible. watch it. Nothing is ever impossible with the Cowboys in December.
Break down to me what happened in the fourth quarter. Like, how did they?
Well, I'm not even gonna say the fourth quarter. I want to say the second half. What happened was Green Bay became more aggressive. Before they were playing like, two safeties back and things of that nature, which allowed them to get gashed by the Markham Murray on the ground. When they got to second half, Green Bay decided to go ahead and turn the heat up on Romo, run a cover 3, meaning have a safety close to the box and have one safety high, and play man on the outside, which means then that Romo was going to go ahead and check out of run plays to pass plays. And then when they forced him to pass and were putting pressure on the receivers, that's when the magic started to happen. And then that's when the whackness known as Dallas D began to give way.
So, I mean, that was just crazy right there. So now Dallas is on the outside looking in pretty much. I mean, they do have a date with Philadelphia, the last game of the season in Dallas. So they're not far out of it by any stretch.
It's going to come down to that game because the last 2 years came down to that game. And in that last game, Romo's going to do what he's done the past 2 years. He's going to sell out. So I'm not going to say these games don't matter, but regardless of what happens this week, it's still coming down to Week 17 and Big D. And the only difference between the past 2 years and this year is that this time he'll get to sell out at home. Because the past 2 years, he sold out in New York when he acted like he couldn't see Miles Austin, had broke free, and he couldn't throw the ball ahead of him to catch the pass in New York to beat y'all. Then last year, he threw 3 interceptions, and then the Redskins won the division. So that means this year, we get to see what magic he's going to do this time.
But you know what? This is the thing that's funny. It's terrible as the Redskins season has been. This is their Super Bowl this week, man. Because this Sunday they play the Cowboys. And they can, what better thing to do than to mess up the Cowboys' playoff hopes. And they're playing in FedEx Field. They're going to be in the district. That's something I got to highly consider, man. I got to highly consider the Redskins for that game. But then again, Shanahan, after that call he made with Atlanta, looks like he don't give a damn at this particular point in the season. So
his whole thing is he was going for the dub, man. I'm gonna go and get this W. We already losing, so look, we might as well go for the win. Ain't no need for us to go to overtime. So some people condemn him for that pick, but to me, in a way, it shows he still was trying to win. Some people say he wasn't trying to win, he wasn't trying to go overtime. But let's be honest. He knows that his defense is trash. It's been trash all year, and their special teams is horrible. And they only got a spark last week because Kirk Cousins came in there. He wants to put on a good audition because they're going to try to finally, which I don't know why it took this long, but they're going to be trying to flip him for a draft pick. So,
yeah, there's teams out there like the Jets or somebody that wouldn't, that might have a like Kirk Cousins.
They're Jets stuff. The Jets already have their quarterback.
It depends on who's coaching them next year, bro.
I'll give you that much, but the thing is, you can't, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're not going to bring other quarterbacks in, but to say they just automatically going to bring somebody in and take Gino's job with him playing majority of snaps last year, regardless of who the next coach is, Gino's going to get strong consideration because the organization did spin the draft pick they spin off.
I'm not saying Gino is going to automatically get his spot ran, but I think they will bring in somebody to compete for that job. And I think he would be more. I think somebody like Cousins will be receptive to signing with the Jets with a high possibility of starting, as opposed with the Redskins where it's not happening. But that's in another game, New Orleans at St. Louis. What happened there? They were in the dome, man.
They were in a dome, not the dome. It's the difference.
Okay, they weren't at home.
No, they weren't. They was in St. Louis.
Okay. Well, I don't know why I thought they were playing in the dome. But yeah, I think that really messed them up, man. They did not, and that loss was not scheduled on. They didn't have that one in that column. So now they have a big date with Carolina this week. And
at the BOA.
Carolina, yeah, you said DOA?
Yeah, the BOA, as they call it, Bank of America Stadium.
Oh, I thought you said it was dead on arrival, meaning they have a shot of winning this game.
Oh, no. Carolina is going to have an excellent shot to win that game because everything is right there in front of them. But, regardless, the Saints are still a tough out, even when you do play on the road. I mean, the Rams, they got a lot of pressure on Breeze, and they went ahead and they pounded them with the run game. But there's not a lot of teams that can bring that pressure and also beat them up on the ground.
Yeah, I got to give props to the NFL that they have all these divisional games this late in the season that really have great playoff implications and are good matchups. Why haven't they done this in the past?
You got to remember, the reason why they did this is because I want to say either 2 or 3 seasons ago, Goodell was feeling some type of way because a lot of teams would end up resting their starters because they would already have divisions and things locked up. So he was like, oh, okay, that's what y'all want to do. I can't make y'all go ahead and play play your starters. So that's when he split the division games where you play 4 in the first 8 and you play the other 4 on the back end, which, I don't know why it took this long for it to happen, because, if you think about it, we haven't heard about teams resting their starters for like about 2 or 3 seasons ever since he did that. So that was a great idea, so that way you can, basically dictate to the teams to make sure that they go ahead and play all the weeks. So it's all worked out for the fans and everybody.
You're looking at a situation here where, like, even a team like Denver really can't afford to rest their starters. We're talking about the last 2 weeks of the season. There's literally not any junk games. So, hats off to the NFL for that, because it's actually making this part of the season better, and then it's going to get more better because you actually go into the playoffs. So it's very good format. Hopefully baseball and basketball can find a way to kind of mimic that, which will be a lot harder. But I'm just glad there aren't a lot of dead games, a lot of games where people are resting and everything is settled. This thing is going to go all the way down to the wire, and that's what keeps everybody engaged. So it's
right.
Shouts out for that. There's another game we didn't touch on that I need to. Baltimore at Detroit. How are the Ravens doing it, man?
Well, you look at that game, and Baltimore still couldn't get the run game started. And I know, I want to say the Lions are like 6th or 7th with against the run, so that held up. And they did a couple of things with trying to, put Flacco in some other situations, like put him in the pistol to get the passing game started. But as we all know, that game was won off of defense and special teams with the kicker. And, the weird thing about that is Detroit is like one of the most talented teams in the league. But, as they've been doing pretty much all this year, silly penalties and the turnovers by Stafford. And then uncharacteristically, the thing that topped it off for me was this Megatron just dropping the ball when nobody was around him. I've never really seen him do that before, so I'm just going to chalk it up as him just having a bad game. But that team shoots themselves in the foot so much that despite their talent, they go and they keep other teams in the game, and that's what happened with them against Baltimore. Because Baltimore should have went ahead and left that game with a loss, but because of the fact that Detroit keeps that door ajar, that's the reason why now the reason why the Bears, who they swept this year, is now in first place by 1 game, and they just been steadily keeping that door open for somebody to take it from them because they're not playing solid fundamental football to go ahead and run away with that division. You got like 2 other teams in the division with the quarterbacks down. That's like every quarterback in the division is who's the starter was on the bench. Their starter's playing, and these fools still 1 game back in the damn division. It's ridiculous.
So, knowing that their injuries, knowing that they have problems with penalties and things like that, is this going to be a referendum on the coach? Is he out of here because of their poor play? Because I know there were high expectations in Detroit this year.
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say that it's pretty much a writing's on the wall. If Detroit, I think they're right to say if Detroit don't make the playoffs, not only the head coach but the GM, they even said is gonna get fired, and it's gonna be the same thing with Dallas. Once Garrett messes around and he doesn't make the playoffs, once Chip Kelly then run away with the NFC East, if they don't go ahead and make the playoffs, he'll be gone. Because even Jerry won't be able to spin that. So.
Let's just go on this. Let's play the fire game, man. I'm going to name off the coach. You tell me if he's going to stay or does he got to go.
Okay.
Tom Coughlin.
he's going to have the option. So that I don't think they're going to immediately come at his neck like that. If he wants to quit, it'll be because of the fact that he just wants to quit. But he'll be able to come back if he wants.
Shanahan, the Redskins.
Honestly, I think he's gone. I don't think there's nothing else that can happen. The only thing with that is that Snyder's going to want to try to go ahead and fire him for cause, which is the real reason why people are saying that they're playing Kirk Cousins. But because Shanahan has in his contract, he has control over player personnel and decisions. But I think because of the way Shanahan's contract is, even if Snyder fires him without firing for cause, he still would have to owe him $7 million. So I don't really think he's trying to pay that money, but he might just have to eat that because I just can't see how he would bring Shanahan back. But I would say Shanahan's done.
Garrett, Dallas.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
Jerry can talk. Jerry, listen, the Cowboys are not winning the NFC East. There's nothing to show me that they're going to win it. They're similar to Detroit with not so much shooting themselves in the foot, but they always do something for them not to help them win. With Dallas, it's a little different. I can't really say that they shoot themselves in the foot. They just do silly stuff, and stuff just happens. But, yeah, I'll look for Gary to be gone.
Okay, you already said Detroit's head coach is probably gone, right?
They don't win the division. He's gone.
Tampa's coach. I forgot his name.
He's Graciano. You know what? A lot of people were thinking that he was gone, but because of the fact that team is still fighting, even you was impressed with him a couple of times, picking them to win games, he has a chance. I mean, he actually does have a chance to come back. I think he's on the maybe list. I can't say definitively
man,
he's going to get fired.
Fired, man. Ain't no, is he fired or is he staying, man?
I just gave the answer. Just because they the one you want, but that's your problem.
You said maybe. That's what I'm saying.
No, but he's 50-50. He's just like Conklin. He's 50-50. Conklin has the option to go ahead.
You'd like
Conklin
pretty much. You said yes.
The thing is that I say Conklin has his he has the choice because they got to pay him respect because he won Super Bowls and all that stuff. So he doesn't have the option.
Like you said, you pretty much said the organization is not going to terminate him. You know,
he gets a chance to figure out what he wants to do.
Walk away. Tampa, are they going to fire you to do it if he's coming back?
You know, the thing is, it's been 2 years. I can see them getting him another year because they can say that, you know, we have some issues with quarterback and so that nature. So, he like I said, it's 50-50, man. I can't say definitive because you got to remember, if you fire all these guys, you got to also have somebody to replace them. And we just had, like, what? Yeah. 8 or 7 new head coaches last year. I think we're going to have the same amount of vacancies open this time when the season's over. There's going to be a lot of dudes going to be getting killed off.
And let's move on then, man. I'm going to let you get away with that waffle. Atlanta.
No, he's fine. He's coming back. It's not even a question that he's going to be back.
Why you say that?
Listen, the regime with Smith and Matty Ice, they've never had back-to-back winning seasons until Matty Ice and Smith got together. So I want you to just to think of that. The history of the Atlanta Falcons, even with Deion Sanders, whoever else you want to think of, Michael Vick and all the Vick fans, they never had back-to-back winning seasons until Smith and Matty Ice got there. So, this is the most successful that we've ever seen the Falcons franchise. And then they just had one down year, and you can contribute to the injuries. He'll be fine. He'll be back next year.
Well, it might be a blessing in disguise, man. They get another, a good first-round pick, or maybe to bundle that with multiple first-round picks. You know, they can come back healthy and stronger next year. So, the Jets, Rex Ryan.
That's another one. That's another one where, it's kind of but I'm going to say just because of the fact that the team started off promise and now they're tailing off with this whole playoff race thing, I'm going to say that even though I don't want to see it, I think with them getting a new GM last year and the owner co-signing that he will be back, I think that now that, like I said, they play themselves out of the playoff spot, that gives the new GM Inzik the authority and power to be like, okay, look, you get about here because you wasn't my dude anyway. So, yeah, I'm going to say, Rex is probably gone.
Cleveland. Well, they were taking anyway, right?
No, if they got his first year, he'll be back.
And last two, Tennessee and Jacksonville.
Jacksonville is the head coach's first year, so he'll be back. And Tennessee, yeah, he's gone because they already said they're getting rid of Jake Lockwood and CJ2K. So they're going to be totally cleaning house.
Okay. And Pittsburgh, Tomlin,
it's
pretty safe, right?
I think. Oh yeah, Tomlin ain't going to win. And Pittsburgh only had 2 coaches in the history of their franchise. They don't fire coaches. The coaches retire or only 2 the history of the franchise.
Nah, man. They had Cowher, they had Tomlin, they had to have somebody before Cowher.
Oh, my fault. 3 then. They had Noel with the Steelers back in the day. Then they had Cowher, and then they got Thomas. So 3. So yeah, they had like 3 coaches in history of their franchise.
Okay.
You just quit the Steelers. They don't fire you.
Hey, well, that's the job to get then, huh?
Yeah, but the thing is, their job is barely open, so that's the problem.
So I guess
I think you forgot about the brother, Leslie Frazier in Minnesota.
Oh yeah. I was just thinking about that when you said that. But this is what, his second year?
No. This is like
been there long?
This year right here might be his 3rd, but the thing is, I remember he signed a contract extension when they got lucky and made the playoffs last year, which was a mistake. And because the team isn't that good, and that falls on him. And I'm looking for him to be gone because of the fact that now he's going to be penalized because of they made the playoffs when they shouldn't have. He should have been fired last year, and now I think they're going to be like, well, you can sign this contract extension, but yeah, that door's right there. Go see it.
Man, yeah, well, it's going to be a nice little carousel of coaches going around. That's for sure. But you know what? If Rex Ryan doesn't get, if he does get fired, he wouldn't be a bad coach. That's the coach, somebody like the Redskins, I don't think. Sure up that defense.
Yeah, but see, the thing is with Rex, he's playing himself. He's looking just like his dad. They care so much about one side of the ball where they both get so caught up with the defense. They don't understand that the head coach, you're responsible for all 3 levels. And just like his dad, they don't care about the offense. And you can't just say you're just going to go ahead and disregard the whole side of the ball.
Well, shoot, just hire Jason Garrett to be your offensive coordinator, then you're good.
Yeah.
Put 2 masterminds together, man.
Yeah, man. You gotta understand, man. These guys have a lot of egos and things of that nature, and a lot of these guys would rather go ahead and sit out a year than come back and be a coordinator.
Oh, rather than be a coordinator, even if it's, but shoot, man, if you got coaches' salaries are guaranteed, unlike players in the NFL, I'm assuming. So
yeah, I believe that's so.
So in that regard, hey, why not be a coordinator for a year or 2? You still got the big bucks coming in, build your resume up as a coordinator on a winning team, get back in the big seat. You would think, but like you said, I understand the ego.
And another thing too, you also got another head coach, Dennis Allen, coach for Oakland.
But he's only been there. He hasn't been there long either, right? I think he's been 3 years.
This year, right, they gone through was his 2nd year. So, but I think he might be in danger of getting fired just because of the fact that you can't really say you've seen improvement. And, he had issues with quarterback. McFadden's always hurt like he always is. And he was in a contract year, and he didn't even show up. And so I would not be surprised, because they can say, well, look, we don't see any reason to keep you on because we don't see no improvement in the team, so why don't we just cut this off now? So I can see him getting axed.
Wow. Well, if that's the case, man, that's like a third of the NFL on the hot seat, man.
Well, I'm going to say this. I believe I was looking at some stats and things, and they were saying that typically every year the average is 6 coaches get fired a year.
Okay.
So I think last year we had I want to say we had about 7 or 8 new head coaches in the league this year, I want to say. So, yeah, it's tough business, man.
Hold tight for 1 second, man. I've been up here running my mouth, and I got somebody on hold. Hey, how you doing, caller? Sorry about keeping you on hold like that. You there? Hello, caller? I'm going to give him another shot, Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, caller, you there?
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? DC Sports Talk Radio, you got a question?
Yeah, what's MKA think about the Eagles and the Chicago game this week?
Yeah, you said what the Eagles going to do this week?
Yeah, what does MKA, Mr. Head there, think about the Eagles-Chicago game? Which way do you think it's going to go? Or is he just going straight up with his man Chip?
You hear that, Ed?
No, I know it said something about Chip, but I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, your phone. Yeah, your phone's a little choppy there. Can you try to say it one more time?
Yeah, what is your decision on the game, on the pick for the game this week, the Chicago Eagles?
Oh, I think what I'm hearing saying he's talking about Chicago and the Eagles playing next week.
Oh, okay. The game that they flexed to 8:30 at night.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They bumped the man out of that slot.
Well, they have a game to have a chance of being in the 20s, potentially be a high-scoring game because I know the Bears are terrible against the run. So unlike last week against Minnesota, McCoy should be able to go ahead and run wild. And then the question is going to be, like I said, with the Eagles defense, they just got blazed up by Matt Castle for 48 points and Greg Jennings. So now you got to deal with Cutler coming back. His game 2 should be a little bit sharper than what it was against Cleveland. And then you got those two wide receivers on the outside with Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey at 6'3" and above apiece on the outside. So it's going to be a real challenge this week for the Eagles because they're going to be playing against a full offense that can run and pass the ball. But right now, that's going to be a rough game for the Eagles. Their defense is going to have to go ahead and just play solid football and not give anything any easy plays. But Eagles can score with anybody, so they have just getting a chance anybody to win that game.
Well, my thing is this: you got to think if they're going to work on anything this week, it's going to be defense. That's for sure. So in that regard, Chicago showed they can be scored upon as well. So, and Chicago's not as strong on the run. You know, Shady should have a great field day. And now, you know, you got to pick your poison in as far as we're going to contain Shady and, you know, let what's the quarterback's name at Foyle?
His name is Nick Foles. Nick Foles, but I call him Nick Code.
Yeah, you know, Foles can let loose if you spend too much time in the box trying to contain Shady. So I think the Eagles have a very good chance to win this game. I don't know if I'm going to make my pick yet. We'll go on that Friday. But, I mean, the beauty about this right now is the game's important to both teams. So nobody's taking the time off. So it's going to be a rough one, man. You know that, right? Yeah, man.
They need to go ahead and man up and stop on that straight kicking stuff. They need to just kick it through the end zone, put it directionally, kick it deep, and kick it away from Devin Hester.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear that. Your phone was chopping up a little bit. I think you were saying something about kicking.
Yeah, they need to just kick it on the kickoffs, just kick it through the end zone, and on the punts, if they got to put the ball, put it deep, just put it away from Devin Hester, that's all. So they need to stop on that foolishness.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the fact that the Eagles last week, they were so scared of Cordell Patterson like he was Deion Sanders that they kept on giving Minnesota a great field position, and they had to operate on short fields. So I believe the caller is saying that if they go ahead and they kick the ball like they're supposed to and stop being scared, because, you know, they got those two returns ran back on them in the snow against Detroit, that'll go ahead and that'll, you know, give the Eagles defense longer fields to work with, so they shouldn't be exposed as easily as they was last week with Minnesota playing on short field, which is a very good and valid point.
You got Hester back there, man. You got Hester back there.
Look, you know what? Listen, it's not like Hester's going to run back 4 or 5 returns. I mean, come on now. Let's stop it.
Yeah, they handled Hester before. It ain't like they handled him before.
Hey, put it this way, as a Giants fan, you remember what your boy Jackson did to my boys when we kicked it off to him, right?
But that was a mistake, though. The guy went ahead but see, that's different. It was the punt. He could have angled
right.
and kicked the punt out of bounds. Now, on the kickoff, you kick out of bounds to get the ball in the 40. So my
right.
thing is, even if you're scared to kick it to the dude, then just go
Kick
ahead.
it out.
I mean, hell, the kickers get a 5 yards. What are you scared for? You should be able to kick the ball back in the end zone any freaking way. So just go ahead and kick the ball out the back of the end zone, or if your kicker's tripping and he acts like he can't kick that far, then just squib kick it. Then just do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kick it out the back of the end zone, but I understand trying to avoid someone like Hester, but you got to be intelligent about it. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely, you got to be intelligent.
Yeah, but anyway, it's going to be a good game. Anything you got to add to that, man?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right, we appreciate the call, man.
Okay, no problem.
All right, thanks. And we're in a little bit of overtime right now, but I want to transition into a little basketball real quick before we get out of here. There's a lot of things going on in the rumor mill right now, and I saw a trade rumor, and I just wanted your take on this because I just want to see who you would lean for. You know, this is kind of our favorite thing to do. I heard a rumor of Steve Blake and Pau Gasol to Chicago for Luol Deng and Carlos Boozer. Do you pull that trade, and if so, whose advantage is it?
Well, in the short term, I'm going to say in the short term, the trade will benefit the Lakers because then they will go ahead and they would get players who fit D'Antoni's system more so than the players he has now. And then, actually, you know what? I think I said the opposite. Yeah. That's it, right? Short term, that'll benefit the Lakers more, and then long term, it'll benefit the Bulls because your boy Pau Gasol, I believe it was the last year of his contract. He'll come off the books, and then they'll have Steve Blake because right now the other guards they have on their team, so they decided to let Nate Robinson walk because they thought D Rose was going to be back, aren't really proficient at shooting the ball from the outside. Like I think I looked at the game 2 or 3 games ago. And they were struggling trying to go ahead and have offense. And just like I told you, DJ Augustine, your boy, who we used to go back and forth on, he shot as many shots as Lord Dang because Dunley and the rest of them cats, they can't. I know, but look, those cats can't create their own shots. That team is totally dependent upon D Rose and his penetration. That's why I tell people all the time who get on me when they say, "Oh, you always say the Bulls have no shots." They don't. We only have one person that can handle the ball and can initiate the offense and get other people involved. You have no shot against that team. And that's the problem I've had with the Bulls. They need to have somebody else that can handle the ball and put pressure on the defense.
Well, one, let me jump in here real quick. One, DJ Augustine shooting 15 shots in your first game with the team is crazy. But outside of that, I'm looking at this the opposite way of you, man. I think this is a great – if that trade did go down, it would be actually a very good trade for the Bulls. You have Pau Gasol actually playing with somebody like Noah, defensive-minded center. You know, Pau could play the power forward, and they could play that little in-and-out game like he played with Bynum. He's a legitimate scorer. You know, Thibodeau's actually going to give him the ball where he needs on the block. And then they'll have a service point guard in Blake. That's a nice, steady hand, you know, to kind of, you know, deal with the drama they're dealing with as far as with D Rose being gone. On the other side, I just see too much redundancy. One, I don't like Boozer's losing the height of Gasol to put in Boozer's place. With, I guess you're going to play beside two, Sacre or Hill. And then what are you going to move, Kobe to the 2 and Dang at the 3? And, you know, maybe. But then on, you know, I just don't like it. You know, I guess you're going to have Swaggy P on the bench still with that kid Wesley Johnson. To me, I don't really like it. I don't see that advantage they would really get except for the potential to run faster. And to me, why give up Blake when you've shown point guard is a big issue on the Lakers? Right now, Kobe's running the point because all the point guards are hurt. You know, so why give up Blake, one of your best and healthiest guards you have? I just think it.
Well, he's not healthy right now.
But yes, I mean, but when he is, he's played the majority of the point this year.
I know, but you got to understand. D'Antoni and Gasol have issues with each other, and he doesn't like big guys clogging the lanes in his offense. So the way D'Antoni sees it is, I'll get another wing player, another guy that's a movable part. They can move up and down. They can shoot the ball. I get Boozer, and he can move around and he can shoot, and he won't clog the lane up for the way that he wants to run his offense. You got to remember, anytime we ever seen Phoenix play and they were proficient, you had the point guard being Nash doing pick and rolls with everybody on the team. You can't do pick and roll with Gasol and also have him out flexing out for threes and shooting jumpers because he wants to be posted up. And Gasol's best days are behind him because even like things like what on the plus side of 35, things like 37, and then also the fact that just the start of this year, he's old. He's not he's older than Kobe. Okay, how about that? Can you agree with that part?
No, not yet. Kobe, I can't.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, he's older than Kobe. So, as you throw that in, along with the fact that before the season started, he was coming off like, 2 knee surgeries from the offseason before. Gasol's done, bro. He's not that player that he was 5 years ago or that he was in Memphis.
Hey, that dude
and if he goes to Chicago,
last night.
Hey, well, that's one night. What was the 3 other games before that? So, the thing is that when he gets the ball, when he gets the ball, he don't do anything. And I'm tired of everybody trying to come with my man D12's neck. Somebody he don't call for the ball. Gasol don't ever call for the ball either, but nobody wants to say his name. He don't demand the ball in the post. They'll be aggressively setting up and demand the ball either. But no, I guess because he plays with Lakers.
He was actually in the box last night. They were playing an in-and-out game with him and Kobe. Against who were they playing at? Memphis. So he was actually going at Zach Randolph. So they, I don't know if D'Antoni's had to change of heart and decided to personnel. But yeah,
really?
I watched the game. He was actually going at him.
Think what you just said, Zach Randolph.
Yeah, Zach Randolph. What's wrong with going at Zach Randolph? He's not a defender.
First off, Zach Randolph don't play no D. He's under 6'10", and he has no hops. So of course Gasol's gonna be able to post him up. Gasol's 7 foot tall.
Exactly, and he should be able to take advantage of most people every night if you give it to him where his hot spots are.
He's not that type of player no more, bro. You're giving him a lot of credit right now for it.
Hey, I'm not trying to say the dude is going to be MVP, perennial All-Star, Hall of Famer Paul Gasol anymore, but I think at the worst the dude's 15-8, 15-9 a night if he gets the ball where he's supposed to get it.
The Bulls only will want to make that trade because they know that his money comes off the books. They don't have to worry about trying to give Lou Dame more money than he's worth, and they have some capitalists to try to get another player in there to help them. I
think it's a great trade for the Bulls because, too, I think it's time for Taj Gibson to step up and get a little more time. He's been more productive than Boozer for the last 2 years. So I think it's time for Taj Gibson to go ahead and take a more prominent role with that team anyway. So why keep that Boozer's money on the books? I think,
I'm looking at for cap relief. It'd be great because that way they can make up for the mistake that I told you they were doing when they brought doggone Boozer to this team any freaking way.
Hey, at least the Knicks didn't get him, right? Well, shoot, they might as well got him. He's probably been more productive than Amari.
Yeah. Your son is more productive than Amari.
Yeah, man. Matter of fact, I didn't catch I didn't investigate the story, but he's acting like I think the Knicks talking about he's going to be out with a sore knee, and he got on Twitter talking about I don't know what you're talking about. My knee's not sore. So I want to see what that drama is. But speaking of the Knicks, man, the Knicks lose at Milwaukee tonight. It might be a wrap for your boy Mike Woodson. I'm surprised he's still here after the Wizards lost the other night, not calling that timeout anyway.
Well, I mean, I don't really understand what the controversy is with that because I've seen plenty of teams in that same situation not call a timeout because of the fact that they don't want to give the defense a chance to go ahead and set up. Now, my biggest issue with that is that Melo had more than enough time to throw that whack shot that he threw up, like it's a doggone horse shot with one leg up.
But that's why he should have called the timeout because most times you see that's a veteran squad. You see like Oklahoma City or San Antonio, the ball is going to be in Westbrook's hand or Tony Parker's hand. Uzi passes into Melo. Melo hesitated like, okay, I guess we're going. And they didn't have any type of plan. Most of the time when teams do that, they know exactly what they're doing in that situation. We're going to push it down, be aggressive. And
now, don't get me wrong. I hear you.
The timeout.
I hear you on that, right? but what's on the side they go to flow is what I've seen. But it's not like Melo couldn't have called a timeout either.
And that's the thing I was going to say when people were complaining about Wilson. Like, yeah, but you know what? That's a veteran team. They should know their timeout situation just as well as the coach. Most of the time they call that timeout without even asking the coach anyway, you know? But at the end of the day, though, whose responsibility is it to get the shots you want? The head coach, man, he had 3 timeouts in his pocket, man. Like, you had 3, bro. Go ahead and call the timeout, get the half court. 6 seconds is an eternity when you're passing in from the half court. So
well, I put it like this. I can see where there's heat on the Heat, but on the doggone the Knicks, but the East is so bad. I don't see why you will fire him when they still realistically at any point in the year, and once they get Tyson Chandler back, they got a chance to, even if they're under 500, they can still make the play. Like, that's the part I don't get. Like, why are you you're firing him like they're in the West. They're not in the West. You might as well just go and roll with the dude for the whole year. Go ahead.
Right now, they're 10 games under 500. Tyson Chandler is supposed to come back tonight. I think his job is contingent on the next 10 games. If they cut that to 5 games or somewhere, or if they see that 10-game under 500 thing decreasing, he's good. But if it stays the same, or they go back to like 12 or 13 games under 5, he's done.
Why would he be done?
You know, because you have a healthy Tyson Chandler and there's no improvement. I think that's why he was done.
But the thing is, they still be almost in the playoffs. But see, that's my whole thing. Because whoever you bring in here, the East is bad, bruh. Like they could go and be under 500 to still make the playoffs.
And they're bad, but come on, man. There's bad and there's horrible. Like, the Knicks are the 3rd worst team in the East. Like, you still got to be in the hunt.
And then you got to give them time. Like, they can have time to go and be in the hunt. And I'm just saying, it doesn't make any sense to me to fire him. That's just me. Of the past previous coaches, he's been the most successful. And it's not like you got anybody else on the bench who you eyeing and looking at who you think is going to take the job. I don't understand. Like, I know people who are Knicks fans, because I know a lot of them, they're delusional. They thought they actually had a chance to compete in the East. Not understanding that just like Minnesota Vikings in football, they just had a magical year, and it was not sustainable. But people thought that this Knicks team was a sustainable team, which I don't know why yet, but people thought that. They had a magical year, and that was it. They're not going to be able to replicate that ever again.
This is what I'm saying. Like, the Knicks right now, like, Brooklyn is 1 game out of the 8th seed. The Knicks are 5 games out of the 8th seed. No.
Okay, dude, what's in December?
They're actually 3. No, that's what I'm saying. But, like, if that's what I mean about his job is more contingent on, let's say, like, the next 10 games. If that 3 goes to, like, 6 or 7, I think he's done. But if he closes the gap, if they're, like, in the 8th seed or, you know, a game out or something like that, yeah, he'll be around. But they have to start putting together some wins. And I'm not talking about like a 7-8 winning streak, but they got to win like groups of 3. You know what I mean? Win 3, lose 1, win 2, lose 1. They got to start doing something like that.
Well, I mean, I know Woodson don't have control over player personnel, but how that team is constructed and things of that nature, that I think the Knicks can still make their playoffs, but to go on like, you know, 5, 6, 7 game win streaks, I don't see that happening. I think they can probably do 2, 3 games in a row and then probably lose 2 games in a row and then do that. I think they're good enough to do that, but they can't go on these massive runs because, I mean, they're not a good team.
Right. Hey, but Ed, that's it, man. We don't went through the overtime and everything. We'll get back together more than likely Friday or maybe tomorrow, who knows. And we'll get ready for week 15 in NFL, man. It's been a good show. Everybody, thanks for listening. This is BC Sports Talk Radio. Be safe, man.
You never too old to sell a key. So how could you be too old to MC? I'm from where it originated, so get me.